What is good, everyone? As always, welcome back to Sheer Thoughts, guys. Hope y'all doing amazing. Hope y'all have been super well. We do apologize for missing last week. I wasn't feeling that great. Sony apparently wasn't feeling that great either. So I think it was the best that we took a week off to just recover. When you're not feeling well, it's always good to rest, relax, recover. It's always the best thing you got to do. But yeah, guys, welcome back to another week. We always appreciate y'all being here. But yeah, Miss Sony, how I know you were sick, but how's your week been? Other than that, how you been doing?
Yeah. Obviously, there's lingeringness going on here. So yes, it does sound like I'm still a bit more, but it's okay. A lot better now compared to what I was. So, which is always good.
Oh
But
no,
no,
for sure.
otherwise, yeah. I'm waiting for the sun to come back.
Yo,
I like how
facts,
we always
bro.
talk about the weather. I've literally just
Yo,
realized we always talk about that, but it makes such a big difference.
no,
It
it does.
really
It
makes
it
such a
it
big
does.
difference.
And I don't like people don't understand that, bro. Like for us, it's like
Yeah.
weather is so important to us. Like they just don't get it,
Mm.
dude. I'm I always think
Yeah.
about the weather. I'm always thinking about like just bro. I love beautiful weather. You know, I
Mm.
always say it's like I was telling my girlfriend too. Like it's like you're gonna see a whole different side of me, man. When the sun is out,
Yeah.
when there's beautiful weather hitting you,
Yeah.
god, dude,
You
it's just
just vibe
what?
different.
It's just different, bro. It's such a great feeling.
Mm.
Like, and the thing is, she's from Florida, so she gets the shit all the time, fucking twenty four
Oh yeah.
seven. You know, like
Yeah.
oh, it must be fucking nice. You know, like I get it. It's cool. It's nice. All right. I'm jealous. Okay. Fucking Florida has beautiful weather. I mean, depending where you are in Florida. But Florida, I mean,
Mm.
Miami, fucking down south, Orlando is beautiful weather every fucking day. Like it's,
Yeah.
it's just beautiful weather every day. You can't fucking. How you gonna complain, bro? And how you gonna? It's like a lot of people that I knew. A lot of these influencers and YouTubers started moving to like Puerto Rico. It's paradise every fucking day. It's an island, bro.
Oh,
You know, it's just,
wouldn't mind a bit of that.
bro. Facts, right? It's like
God.
I mean, it's funny. It's like they always say too. Hawaiian people are like always happy. I'd be fucking too if I woke up in paradise every day. Like
Yeah,
I ain't gonna be mad at
exactly.
that, bro. It's literally gorgeous weather every day, and then it rains,
Hmm.
and it's like, oh, it's raining. There's a thunderstorm. Yeah, like 15 fucking minutes, and then it's gone. Like it's just
Yeah,
fucking,
exactly.
just gorgeous, bro. You gotta love that shit. Um,
I feel like it's a place that you wouldn't also get ill either. Do you know what I
Not
mean? Places like
necessarily.
that, you like
Yeah.
even if you're ill, you still feel good about
Oh
being
my
ill
god.
'cause
Yeah.
I'm ill in
Be
great
like,
weather.
bro, I got a 102-degree fever, but this sun right now is
Mm.
hitting. Just fucking. Let me
Hmm.
tell you, I'd rather be sick in warm weather than sick in freezing weather, bro. Oh,
Yes.
it's the worst
Yes.
feeling, dude. Especially because when you're sick and you got that fever, so you're already feeling cold, and then you're outside and you're like, bro, I'm gonna fucking die. I'm just gonna fucking die, dude. Like, I don't want this shit
Yeah.
at all. Uh,
Yeah.
um. Oh, so Miss Sony, I was gonna say we're gonna get into a
Yes.
low topic today. We're gonna get into something interesting that I was gonna
Okay.
talk about. Um.
Okay.
Now, this is something that people have been talking about. I think they're releasing it episodically. I'm not entirely sure, but I started to watch like the first episode. Have you
Okay.
heard about the documentary called Quiet on the Set?
No, I have not, Chucks. I'm sorry.
Okay.
By the way, I'm gonna be eating. I'm
Listen,
getting
girl,
into
eat.
Easter fever.
Listen, eat. You got to recover. It's okay. You got to eat. You got to be strong. It's all good. We get
Uh,
it.
I'm having hot cross buns,
I,
so it's
I was
like,
gonna say,
oh,
what are we munching on? Like, what food are we eating right now?
yeah, the hot cross buns with a bit
Okay,
of butter on them.
there you
So
go. There you go.
yeah, so don't
I
mind me
do.
eating, guys.
Listen, uh, bro, we love food on here. Okay, guys, listen. I don't know what to tell you,
Hmm.
man. If listen, guys, one thing you got to know about watching us is we're big hosiery enthusiasts and we love food. There's at least two things you got to know. There's
Hmm.
at least two things you got to know. Um, what was I gonna say? Oh no, so bro, Quiet on the Set. It's wild, bro. It's fucking insane.
Okay.
So the whole thing is, one, this ruined my childhood. That's one thing I'm gonna say. Ruined my fucking childhood.
Okay.
So the really crazy fucked up thing about this documentary is it's pretty much not pretty much, it's discussing about Dan Schneider. Dan Schneider is like a writer and he was the executive producer for
Oh my
Nickelodeon
God.
back in the day. Yes.
Yes, I've heard so
Bro,
much about him.
Sony, let me tell you, it's fucked up.
Oh,
It's so fucked up,
okay. I
bro.
need to watch this.
So it's so fucked up because when you start to realize how this guy was in the workplace, absolute fucking
Mm.
devil. The fucking devil just walking around, bro. Complete womanizer, complete fucking terrible person.
Oh my
And
God.
listen, man, had to fucking say it, I'm pretty fucking sure a pedophile. Pretty goddamn sure. It's then, it's so like it like I think one of the most fascinating things to me is when time goes on and you start to process things, you know, in the moment you're like, oh, this is cool, this is interesting, this is blah blah, blah. And then you process like these things when you get older and you're like, this shit starts to make a lot more fucking sense, dude. Like a lot of things are starting to connect more, a lot of things are starting to look a little creepier, so it's wild. So growing up, I'm a 90s kid, you know, was born in 89, grew up in the 90s. Nickelodeon was the shit. You know, like, bro, Nickelodeon growing up was the absolute shit, bro. Fucking Keenan and Kel show, the Amanda Bynes show, all that, like, all these, like, shows that had skits and stuff, unbelievable. It was so dope. Such a dope fucking time for television. Now watching this documentary, bro, you realize this guy was definitely putting sexual innuendos into these shows. And it's like, oh my God. Like, because, you know, back then, you're fucking innocent. You're a kid. You're not going to think anything of it. When you're a kid, everything is funny. Everything is jokes. You know, everything is laughing. And then now you see it and you're like, this is pretty fucked up. Like, this is a fucked up shit. And I have, before I get into it, I have a funny connection to something, but we're going to get into it. But bro, it's so foul because, you know, this is obviously the 90s. As we all know, especially when nowadays with the whole woke culture, with how everything changes, with racism, with sexism, all this crazy stuff, you know, things are now really being put out there. Things are now really being shown to show like shit, how shit can be unfair, how, you know, things like that, this and that, whatever. Bro, I think it's so insane. Cause I remember, cause me and my girl were talking about this. I remember like random points of my life in the past like 5-10 years. You know, you come across these old shows, you come across these old things, and you're like, oh man, I remember when I was a kid. And I remember at one point I sat down and I thought to myself, I was like, bro, whatever happened to Amanda Bynes? Like she was iconic. You know, like this chick went from being a complete child TV star on all that, on the Amanda Bynes show, had her own fucking show. I remember when she got a little older, she was in like a few movies, like huge, like she was the star of all stars. Like especially growing up at that time, you knew who Amanda Bynes was. And I remember at one point I'd sit there, I'm like, bro, whatever happened to this bitch? Like she just straight up disappeared off the face of the earth, bro. This documentary pretty much goes to show you this poor girl went through some fucked up shit as she got older. And again, when you're a kid, when you go through shit, especially things you hear about in Hollywood and some fucked up things that happen, when you're a child star and the world is being given to you, and I don't know, I always think that the pressure of a kid having to be the moneymaker of a family must be insane. Like, bro, you're a kid.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
You're a kid. You know, for anyone who had a regular childhood, growing up, you're a kid, bro. You're waking up, going to school, hanging out with your friends, you know, doing bullshit little homework, blah, 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 this and that. But then on top of that, it's like, hey, on the weekends, what are you doing? Wake up, maybe watch some cartoons, play some video games, go outside, play basketball, play football, you know, hang out with your friends, go ride bikes. Typical kid shit.
Yeah.
Not ever excusing what Michael Jackson may have ever done in his life, not excusing whatever other people may have done in their lives. Salud. But I feel for them in a way, not excusing the things that they've done or whatever fucked up shit happens that's not right. But they never had a childhood. You don't have a childhood. Bro, Michael Jackson was fucking 8 years old going to interviews and concerts and music videos. 8 years old? Bro, I was watching Pokemon at fucking 8 years old. What are you talking about? Like, you know, I'm in my TV room just watching Pokemon, eating my cereal at fucking, you know, 8 o'clock in the morning. Michael Jackson was probably like doing makeup, getting makeup done at like 6 a.m. You know, like you don't have a childhood. So I think I would assume same thing goes for these child actors and actresses. You know, they gotta go act. They gotta go. They got their wake up call times. They gotta go do this. They gotta go do makeup. They're probably filming for like majority of the day. Like, it's crazy. So I'm pretty sure the same shit happened with Amanda Bynes, bro. That it's like this child star, everything's great, living the life. But then in the documentary, they then show that it was like there was a lot of pressure from even her own father. So it's like, bro, like, could you imagine? Like, it's like, have you ever seen Dance Moms, the show? I've never seen it, never really watched it, but it's so famous here because the messed up thing about it though is the woman who owns the dance school that's like super like famous, very like,
okay.
This woman has had she's had her girls at her dance studio like literally be in like famous musicians' music videos. Like they've gone and done like performances in like elite places. So you have a reputation, completely understandable. I've never really seen the show, but from what I've seen and little clips here and there, I feel so terrible for these kids because these parents put so much pressure on these kids that it's like, all right, bro, like I get it, but like, damn, like they're still a kid, bro.
Yeah.
Do not get me wrong. When my daughter tells me she wants to be whatever she wants to be in the world, I will completely support her. If she then gets to a point that it's like she could make serious money doing it, I'm always going to look at my daughter and go, bro, at the end of the day, you still need to make sure you're having fun. Because the pressure, all that, bro, it'll kill a kid. Like, that's a lot, bro. For a kid, that's a lot. You're a kid. You're just trying to have fun, enjoy life. That's why I always say, like, ignorance is bliss. When you're a kid, you're ignorant. You're just ignorant. You're just living life. You don't know all this shit and all the problems that's going on in the world. You don't really need to. You're a kid. Just be a kid. So with this documentary, bro, it's so fucked up because you find out that this one girl was like Dan Schneider's like main girl. Like main girl. Promised this chick everything. She was like in all these things and all that. She was apparently promised her own show, all these things. And then all of a sudden she got a little too old. And then Amanda Bynes came into the picture. And Amanda Bynes got the fucking world. And it's just like, bro, it don't seem right. Like they like, and it's again, back then when you're a kid watching it, you don't think anything of it. But then now watching it, you're like, there's too many fucked up things, bro. Like it's so messed up, dude. It's so foul. Yeah. This guy was so fucked up too that he actually hired these two women to be like I think full-time writers, or like they helped write with the show, like and everything. Bro, he hired two women and split the fucking salary in two. So he didn't even hire two people and paid two salaries. He hired two people and paid one salary between both of them. Like, bro, that's fucked up, dude. That is so foul. And then he'd give them all these bullshit excuses as to like why he has to pay them. Of course, the same old bullshit. But then he did some pretty fucked up things too, where in like one of the scenes, this woman says like, she's like explaining like, oh, we should do this high school scene and then like something whatever. And then like Dan Schneider like told her like, oh, you should keep describing this scene, but you know, bend over the table and pretend you're being sodomized in front of a room full of people. Like, what now? Whoa. Like, I'm sorry, what? Like, first of all, toxic workplace. Like, first of all, like, what the actual fuck? Second of all, bro, who do you think you are? Like, that's wild. So it's like when you start watching this shit, like you learn some fucked up shit, you see some fucked up shit, and you're like, this is really wild to me, right? The other thing behind it too, though, and this is where I started to think about some things in my stupid ADHD brain. Have you noticed how within the past, like, I'd honestly say maybe the past 10 years, within the past 10 years, specifically, I'm talking about this. Have you noticed for whatever reason, that a feet fetish has been blowing up more and more. Like it's and I've literally seen it. There are literally girls on Instagram who will blur out their feet to make sure they're not showing their feet on Instagram. Like it's become a whole thing. Like this whole foot fetish culture has become a whole thing. I am very fucking convinced this all came from Nickelodeon. Because if you really put the time frame, all these people who have foot fetishes, who are around now our age, all grew up in the 90s. All grew up in the 90s. And realistically, after watching this documentary, I'm very convinced that Dan Schneider had a foot fetish. Because, girl, the amount of scenes that they were showing, and now, mind you, this is back in the 90s, so it now hits me. Bro, the amount of scenes that people are getting their feet played with, their toes played with, like it's just this main focus on this feet. It's like, bro, what do you fucking expect then? I'm just saying. Like, I don't know. Like, it's just, I think it just connects in such a weird way that I'm like, bro, I mean, think about it. You know what I mean? Like, all these people nowadays who have foot fetishes, or all these people who are now older who grew up in the 90s, bro, my girl was literally showing me fucking scenes of like, because I stopped watching Nickelodeon. Like, the last show I can really remember watching on Nickelodeon was really like all that and like the Keenan and Kel show. But then after that, you know, I started to get older, started watching other things. Like, I started getting more into anime, so I wasn't really watching like the kiddie skits and stuff like that. I started to outgrow that. So I never really got into like Victorious and like all those other shows that came out. Bro, my girl showed me this 20-minute clip on YouTube of like all times that look inappropriate in these shows. And I'm like, this is so wrong, bro. Like, it's like, and then you feel terrible for these actors and actresses because it's like, yo, bro, you're pretty much forced to do this because you want an acting career. You're trying to make money for you and your family.
Yeah.
That you pretty much just have to do it. Even if you felt uncomfortable, you know, a producer or a fucking director could be like, oh no, but it's funny, you know, like it's silly, to just play it off. But they, you know, for all that they don't know, it's like, bro, you're just literally being a live fantasy for these motherfuckers. Like, it's crazy. Because when my girl showed me this video, bro, it's like half of it is like Ariana Grande when she was back acting. Bro, this chick is like, have you ever thought if you suck on your big toe, and she's like just sitting on a bed, just sucking on her toes, like rolling around. And then, oh my God, the other one that I was like, there's no fucking way. It was like, I forgot exactly what it was, but it pretty much was her hanging her head off the bed, just straight up pouring water on her chest and face.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, I was like, what am I watching, bro? Like, this is wild. So now seeing these things, you're like, bro, you kind of wonder why maybe a lot of people nowadays are so hypersexualized. It's just one of those things, bro. Like, you know, like, yes, you're a kid, you're ignorant, blah, blah. But as you start to get older, as hormones start to hit, as curiosity starts to hit, you start thinking about different shit. So it's like, bro, I would not be surprised if a whole foot fetish culture has now spanned from, because that shit started in the 90s, because it was like instilled in people's brains, if you think about it. Because this shit was all over TV. It's not like you could not see it. It was all over TV. You know, especially back then, there wasn't that many channels. Like, it was like, you're watching, if you're a kid, you're watching Nickelodeon, Cartoon Network, Disney. That was like it, like that I know of. You know, that was like it. So it's crazy, bro. It's so fucked up. So excuse us, guys. Sony got to blow her nose. She's, you know, listen. As what is it? As Shrek says, better out than in. Classic. Gotta love it. Classic. Take your time, bro. It's fine. We understand. We understand. It's fine. We get it. So listen, guys. Sony's dying. Okay, just don't mind her. She needs a brief moment. I apologize. I know I've been ranting for all the people who are gonna drop the comments like Chuck never shuts the fuck up. You goddamn right I don't. Okay, I don't care. What you gonna do? Fight me? Like, I don't care. All right, back from intermission.
I'm back. Yes.
There we go.
Sorry. Excuse me.
But I was gonna say, Sony,
leave
like,
Arsenal.
what do you think of all this shit? I know you haven't seen the documentary, but like, you know, from the shit we've seen in the past some odd years of just shit coming out, like, I mean, what do you think? Because this shit is crazy to me, girl.
No, it is. So I know, obviously, you know some bits that you're talking about in terms of Dan Schneider and obviously, especially with Ariana Grande and I don't know her name, but it was the blonde chick who was with her. They would like team up.
Yes, yes, my
I
girl
remember hearing
said that
some
about
bits
her
about
too.
that.
Sam, I think her name is Sam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like then I think she refused to do stuff at one point, which means they cut her out of a lot of stuff. But she like there was a whole thing. I remember reading about it on Twitter. There was a couple of bits that came out on Facebook about it. But it is just I see where you're coming from. I can the way you put it, like, oh, seeing that on Nickelodeon and growing up with that, it is kind of like classical conditioning in a sense, where it is if that's what you're going to kind of see. I can understand now why some people would have a foot fetish from it if they never thought that they would have one before. But it is just, it's first and foremost, it's sad. The fact that, like, okay, look, Ariana Grande is obviously doing really well for herself. Now she seems in a much better place, obviously, because she's come out with a whole new look, different thing,
Of
different
course,
vibe,
yeah.
whatever. But it's like, I remember seeing a picture of Amanda Bynes the other day, and I'm like,
Sorry, go ahead.
no, it's okay. And it is, and it's like she looks so different. Like you can tell it's her, but you know when you think, whoa, what happened to the girl I used to watch in a sense? And it was just like I love the crazy wild hair and what she kind of like was about and everything. But it is sad. It is so sad to now see it. Like naturally growing up, when you are kids, you're oblivious to that kind of thing because you don't know any
Exactly,
better. Do you know what I mean? Unless someone tells you. But now it is watching things back and watching those little clips that come about to be like, especially with Ariana Grande, and it is like, oh my god, how the hell like did no one pick up on this? But yeah, it's just
But then,
it's
it's
disgusting.
wild.
He's so disgusting.
Yo, bro, but then it's wild because then my girl was telling me how when she was younger, her mom would be like, "Oh, you're not watching this because it's inappropriate," but like she caught on to it. So it's like,
Yeah,
bro, I don't know. It's just these things where I sit there and I'm like, how were these things not caught on back then? Like how is it that back then? Like, because apparently Dan Schneider was like at one point like the executive producer, like he was like a writer, and then he was
yeah.
like the executive producer. But it's still the fact that, bro, the studio still has to approve of this shit. How are y'all still approving this stuff, bro? Like,
So do you know what? I have a theory to that because
oh,
I asked the same things, and so especially when you think back in the day, so women didn't have a lot of rights. If I'm
well,
honest, there
that's
was
the
no equal
thing.
pay, nothing like that. If you backchat, you're fired, and I can imagine it. I don't know of it. Like I said, this is just my theory. I can imagine it be like 90 to 95% male owned. Males would be like, look, cool, this will make great TV. If anybody piped up about it, it'd be like, shut up or go home or like you're fired. We don't want to hear this kind of thing.
Yep,
I can
literally.
imagine like even if the kid actors clocked on and like for instance with Sam, to be like, look, what you're doing isn't right. I don't feel comfortable, XYZ, whatever it may be, whether somebody said it or just naturally within themselves, I can imagine be shut down very quickly. Very much to be, do you want to be a kid actor or not? If so, you're going to be doing, you're going to do as you're told. If not, you're fired. And I'll make sure you're blacklisted. Do you know what I mean? Chucks is getting some good ass food. Yeah, I see that, Chucks. I see it.
Listen, bro, you can't be the only
Yeah.
one with food out here, bro. Okay, I'm a fat ass.
Yeah,
All right,
true.
don't you
True.
give me that. If Sony's gonna eat, Chuck gotta eat. Okay.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
No, but
No
yet,
discrimination here.
no. So, and that's actually really fucked up too. That like you just reminded me of that. My girl was telling me, which was really fucked up too, was Sam, the blonde haired girl. So she apparently was gonna come out with a book or came out with a book, something like that. But she also was apparently saying, and she had apparently put out there, oh no, my girl had said it like people think this or maybe this was a thing. In Sam's real life, she like had like issues with like her mom apparently, and like her mom I think was like abused drugs and was like this whole crazy thing.
Yeah.
That then the fucked up thing was, she was telling me that she thinks, or it's out there. There's like something out there that it's like Dan Schneider knew about her issues at home. So this is why in the show iCarly, they used her real life issues as a storyline in the show.
Seriously, I used to watch iCarly. I was like, I kind of lost track about it, but I remember at the beginning I used to watch it. But
But apparently,
seriously,
because I never seen iCarly. So again, my girlfriend fucking wants to fight me every day when she mentions a show that I've never seen. God for fucking bid.
yeah,
But it's like I never saw, like, again, because like I'm a guy, bro. You know, I was a boy growing up. So at one point it was like I was just kind of over the kiddie shows. I got into anime. I started watching a lot of other different things, you know, this and that. So it's like I didn't really pay attention to like Disney and like Nickelodeon after a certain point. It just didn't catch my attention like that anymore.
Yeah.
So I never saw iCarly. I never saw Victorious. I never saw like Degrassi. I never saw any of those shows. But my girlfriend was telling me that apparently in iCarly, Sam was like always over because her mom was never around. It was like all this crazy thing, but apparently that was like actually happening in Sam's real life. So they like use that in the show. So it's like, yo, bro, you're making this poor girl act her actual real life issues. That's fucked up. Like, you know how fucked up it must have been, like in the middle of recording, and it's like you probably say a line or do a scene that like reminds you of your real life, and it's like, bro, I'm hurting right now, but you just got to keep on the most serious face possible because, you know, you're acting like. And then like you said, is that God forbid you spoke up, God forbid you wanted to argue something, God forbid you didn't agree with something. Back then, bro, it's real quick to be like, see ya. They don't give a fuck. They don't care.
No, exactly.
Like it's and a prime example of that doesn't go to show you, not saying the exact same thing, but just in the sense of like, if they're not happy with someone, you can be gone, bro. I don't know if you've ever seen it. I mean, for anyone who's seen the show, it's iconic. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
You're on about Vivian.
Aunt Vivian. Come on, son.
I love the original.
Bro, she was a badass. Are you kidding me?
She was amazing.
She was so good for the role.
And I'm like, what happened?
Sony, everyone, to the point where they even pointed it out in the show. Because I remember the very first episode that the new Aunt Viv was introduced, literally, Jazz, Will Smith's friend, looks at her and goes, Aunt Viv, you looking different. And I was like, and I'm telling you, that had to have been, now that you think about it, or now that I'm thinking about it, that had to, in that scene, the director, no, not the director, it's the producers who do the show. The producers were definitely like, that's the biggest fuck you to the old Aunt Viv. Because that's foul.
Yeah.
First of all.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
The first 2 seasons is literally this one woman we know as Aunt Viv. Out of the blue, by season 3, this random ass woman is now Aunt Viv, who, if you really think about it too, which I was so upset about this, I love this is where it upset me. I love the original Aunt Viv because she played it so well.
Yeah.
If I'm not, so damn, now that I'm thinking about this, all this shit is making a lot of sense. If you really think about it, the first Aunt Viv was very loud, very outgoing, very hard, put her foot down, didn't play games. And then when and then she's, if I'm not mistaken, she's supposed to be from Philadelphia as well. So yeah, bro, she's gonna have that hard Philly attitude. That's like a known thing.
Yeah.
Out of nowhere, the new Aunt Viv is all super sweet, no attitude, just good old perfect housewife. I was like, bro, y'all literally did a whole 180 on Aunt Viv, person and attitude.
Yeah.
When it's like, yo, we got so used to the first Aunt Viv, so it's like, what the fuck? Like, that's so fucked up. So it's like, bro, if that goes to show you, because then in the documentary, Quiet on the Set, Dan Schneider fires one of the woman writers because he turns around and he's going, oh, did you report me to the whatever? You know, I'll make sure that you never have another job and can work anywhere else ever again. Like you said.
There you go.
So it's like, bro, that's fucked up, dude. It's so fucked up.
It is. And this is what, like, And you know, when you hear about this, is what gets me some of the times is the fact that, like, even back in the day, like with the whole Me Too movement, where it is, and this is what I mean in terms of like women and equality and stuff, it was very much, oh, if you don't sleep with X, Y, and Z, or if you don't do this nude scene, or if you don't do this, yeah, we'll make sure you're blacklisted. Yeah, we'll make sure of X, Y, and Z. Basically, ruining your career. Where it's like, actually, what about men? Did men have the same kind of thing going on? To be like, oh, if they had a woman boss or a woman producer or a director, if you don't sleep with me, I'm gonna get you fired. I'm surely probably not. So I think that's the thing, especially back in the day. Obviously, it's very different now. Well, maybe not so different, but we
Uh,
believe it to be
yeah,
moving in
it
the right
should be
direction
fucking
now.
different.
Yeah, but it is when you think back in the day, the amount basically it was kind of like women couldn't have a voice. Women couldn't pipe up about stuff. It's very much no, you're gonna be told what you're gonna do, regardless if you like it or not. You're gonna do it if
Yep.
you want to make it into the into the celebrity world and stuff, which I don't agree with. I don't agree with full stop. But the thing is, what you're supposed to do, if that's your dream and that's your career, as a woman, you'd think, do you know what? I'd rather put up with it. It's like, I'm not trying to get all morbid or anything, but it is women who, like, who do get raped rather than stopping it because they're like, I don't want to die. I'd rather just go through with it, be numb about it, and then suffer the trauma afterwards rather than, do you know what? Let me fight back. And if it means I'm getting killed, but do you know what? Do you know what I mean? It's literally that kind of situation. What do you do
No, it's fucked up.
when
It is.
that happens? Is it like fight or flight kind of? Obviously, if you're going to put it in the right context, but it is that. Do you know what I mean? It's what choice you're going to do. It's like, I really want to make it into the big world. And it's like, especially, oh, you know what? It actually popped up on my Facebook the other day. There was one with, I'm sure it's with Scarlett Johansson. And it was something where it was like, oh, they mostly put it to the public to be like, oh, do you think the presenter was right in doing this? And I think she wore this gorgeous dress. I think it was her first premiere or something. And obviously, like, it was quite a booby dress and whatever. And literally, he touched her. And even she was just like, we, and this is on national TV, like,
What?
or
Oh,
international TV.
nah, bro.
She touched her, and they probably did it slow mo so you could see everything, and you could tell she was so uncomfortable. And then they showed a whole reel of stuff where it's like people, like, I think one person even clapped back and was like, the presenter must have asked, oh, what type of bra are you wearing, or what type of lingerie are you wearing underneath? And they're like, oh, do you ask your male celebrities the same kind of question and whatever? And like, why is it okay for people to think that's okay to say that to a woman or do that to a woman? Yet you wouldn't. I'm not saying you should do that to a man, but generally that should not happen. But it is the whole thing of like, why does that happen to women? Do you know what I mean? It's just a bit like, how do you think that's okay? Especially, like I said, this is a lot of the stuff back in the day. And nowadays, because people are waking up to the whole thing, it probably won't happen or should not happen.
Yeah.
But it is just one of those things when you see those old clips, you think, seriously, this is on TV. This flied back then. No one said anything back then. And you can only imagine her manager or someone say, go with it. I know you probably won't like it, but go with it. Why should you go with it? Why is that okay to go with it? Because then
Nah, yeah,
you're kind of
that's
condoning this. Do you know what I mean? It's just there's a lot to it. I could really get into it, and
oh, I know.
I want to stop, but
Oh, I know. I mean, we are
but yeah.
getting near the end of the episode, so I mean, I know you could definitely keep going. So no, but it's just here. So it's very funny to me when you hear this whole narrative of men versus women and how things are appropriate for certain things or whatever, and it's wild because no one is fucking perfect. No one is perfect in this world. Women suffer through certain things, men suffer through certain things. But the thing that bothers me the most is that it's just like, yo, bro, why can't both sides be heard and observed and actually acknowledged with certain things? Yes, men go through the issue. Men do not go through the same issues as women. Women don't go through the same issues as men. But women do deal with a lot more fucked up shit in different ways, where men do deal with fucked up shit in different ways as well. But it's still the fact that it's like, it's still not fucking okay that certain things are okay. Like, it's just not, bro. Like, like, oh, what underwear are you wearing on your dress? Why wouldn't you ask a guy that? Or like, with guys, they could be like, oh, what car are you driving? Why don't you ask a woman what car she's driving? Like, there are some women who got some badass cars out there. I fucking seen it, bro. Like, I'm just fucking saying. So it's like this whole like double standard thing, or this whole like back and forth thing. It gets so frustrating because It's funny
Yeah.
because I always tell people all the time, bro, I have nothing but the highest respect for women. I actually do. I really do respect women. I really do believe in women empowerment. I do believe in women's equal rights. I do believe in all that. And then when people want to be like, oh, because you're a simp or you're whatever. No, son. It's because I was raised by 5 women. I was raised by 5 Hispanic women. Do you know how hard it is already it is to be a woman out there? Let alone now Hispanic women who the immediate fucking first thing you're gonna hear is we live in America. You gotta speak English. Oh, they don't know English. They don't know what I'm saying. Bro,
Yeah.
I've seen my grandmother bust her ass. I've seen my mom bust her ass. I've seen my aunt bust her ass. Like, you're not about to fucking tell me women can't be strong and independent and powerful in their own way. That's bullshit. I've seen my grandmother sacrifice shit for my family by herself. So it's like, you're not about to fucking tell me, oh, women this, women that. No, motherfucker. It ain't like that. You ain't about to play this game with me. Because I've seen it, bro. You can't tell me different. Especially because, you know, I always said, like, me personally, as the person that I am, I think I always notice little things or notice little details. I've noticed people, how they talk to my mom. I've seen how people treat my grandmother. I've seen how people look at my aunt. Like, bro, I'm not stupid. Like, you know, like, I'm not dumb. So it's fucked up because I've personally seen this stuff that I'm like, yes, bro, I believe in women empowerment. Yes, I believe in women equal rights. Yes, I believe in women independence. Because why the fuck not? Why? What? Please give me a goddamn valid fucking reason why a woman could not be all those things. Please tell me.
Oh, exactly.
It's wild. You cannot tell me. And then it's wild because then when you got these men who were like, well, women are meant to cook and clean. Women are meant to be at home. Women are meant to. All right. But aren't men also meant to be the breadwinners? Aren't men also meant to be fucking the power households? Aren't men meant to be?
Yep.
A lot of motherfuckers that aren't.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I'll fucking easily admit that.
No, it's true.
Like, I'm not the most financially stable person. I'm not the most responsible. I have my moments. I'm not. But best believe I'm fucking trying. I'm trying to improve. I'm trying to get better. That's what matters. But you got a lot of guys out here, too, that don't do shit, but then think that they have every right to talk shit in the world. No, bro. That's not how this works. And again, the world is so opinionated nowadays, but the issue is everyone wants to have a fucking opinion, but no one wants to have a conversation.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll see your point of view. I'll understand it. May not agree with it, but I'll see your point of view. Why can't you see mine?
No, exactly.
It's wild, bro.
It's
I hear fucking that. Insane.
Yeah. I hear that. But I think just to point onto what you're saying, and it's something that I've noticed a lot as well, and from like a psychological kind of point of view as well. But it is very much, a lot of it is like how you say, it's, you have so much respect for women because you've been raised by some very strong women in your life. Whereas if you look at a lot of households, look, every household is different. But you can only imagine, especially back in the day, it is very much exactly how you say. You see the women basically obey everything that a man would say. Cook, clean, you know, the man just does this, come home, eats, doesn't have to clear his plates because his wife does it. And imagine you're a child, you're seeing this. This is what you're growing up to realize, basically. And so it is, that plays such a massive impact on somebody. And it's one of those things, not everybody can change that within themselves. Not everybody can actually hit a reset button, do the work themselves, and actually change that narrative. But it's a lot of the time, the whole thing is, oh, look, exactly how you said, a woman cooks and cleans, looks after her house, does this, does that, XYZ. All a man does is boom, boom, boom. That's it. Otherwise, it's a woman's job. And naturally, if you're going to grow up watching that, it's something that's just going to keep being repeated and repeated and repeated through time, unless, like I say, someone changes that narrative. And it's exactly like with you, it's like, oh, I bloody love my mom. My mom's like my bestest friend, but she's such a strong woman. And it's like, don't worry, my dad's outnumbered because of it's just me and my sister.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, oh, there's no other men in the house. But it's that whole fact of like, we were brought up to hold our own. Like, don't get me wrong, like, yeah, there have been times where we've back chatted our parents, but we're testing waters, we're doing, we're doing it. But it's like, it's like, but it's made us to be really independent, strong women now. Whereas, like, I look at some other typical Indian families where it is they come from two girls, very different narrative, very, very different narrative.
Especially
They
that
do
culture.
so, like, oh yeah, like whatever their dad kind of says, it flies. Whereas I question my dad. I'm like, why? Why do you think that's okay to say?
Yo, he's sitting there
Do you know what I
like, God
mean?
damn it, she won't shut the fuck up.
Yeah. But no, but honestly, but it's stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? But it's like, this is the thing. If you look at it coming from like, not like, I won't even say normal parents, but from like I
I know,
said,
I
from
get
an
what you
Indian
mean. Yeah, yeah.
background, it is very much, you look at girls and you think, right, okay, like this is how it goes down. You say, you do everything that your parents say, da da da, especially your dad. And but whereas now, no. Me and my sister question everything. We're like, no, hold on a damn second. What makes you think that's okay? And especially talking about periods and stuff, people are like, oh, about why? It's a natural thing to happen for women to have kids and stuff. It's natural. So you just think like, yeah, but it was like I said, you know what? It's I do strongly believe from it's like I said from a psychological perspective, that whole thing of it can also boil down from how you've been raised and what you've seen as a kid growing up in terms of like your family dynamics. So it is whether you've had a mom and dad present or maybe one hasn't been, and do you know what I mean? Like that can really change a narrative, we'll just say.
No, no, and
But
you're
yeah.
right. You're very right because now that you saying that, that makes so much sense too. Because I've also seen that, like personally,
Mm,
where I knew, back in the day or whatever, I knew this one girl. I knew like her, so I knew this one girl. I was friends with her in high school. I then met her mom, knew her mom, but her dad was super old school. Like no
mm,
boys were allowed over the house. Like not even like guy
yeah.
friends. It was like a whole big thing. Went to work at like 4 a.m. Did what he did for the family, for the house. The wife did
Mm,
everything for him, catered to him, and he wasn't always the most respectful to his wife, which you'll always see it in a lot of cultures and a lot of times.
mm,
That I then remember some odd years passed or whatever. She had like a younger brother. He was only like maybe like a year or two younger than her from when I knew her. He got a little older, whatever. Because of how the dad treated her mom, bro, her
yeah.
fucking brother turned into an asshole with her mom. And I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" And
Oh my God.
why? Because he learned it from his fucking dad. He
Mm,
learned he saw how he treated his mom, so he was like, "I could treat mom the same way. I'm 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 the next man of the household, so yeah, I could put
mm,
my foot down, blah blah blah." So it's like, bro,
yeah.
again, being raised, you see that, that's what you think it is. So
Mm,
naturally, it's like, oh yeah, I can be like this. But you want to know something? Before we end it here, you don't want to know something? I always believe in karma. I always believe in karma. Always do.
mm,
And it's fucked up. I always think you should treat your
yeah.
parents right. I've always said, bro, if you have like, if you have loving parents, or if you have a parent that cares about you, or if you have family that cares about you, or whatever, like, oh, treat them with respect, love them, whatever. Yes, families bump heads. Yes, families fight. But at the end of the day,
Mm,
if it is a loving family, always show that love, always show that respect. I truly do believe that. Um, because then I remember, I remember hearing about this. I remember seeing how this kid would treat his mom, and I remember like being like, "Yo, he's turning into a
mm.
fucking dickhead to her." And this motherfucker got his hand caught in a wood chipper one time. I was like, "Oh!" He fucked his hand up, bro, like badly. And I was like, "Ow!" And where did he do it? On the job with his dad.
Wow.
I was like, "Yo, this is fucked up." But I was like, bro, because like he really was like mistreating his own mom. Like bro, it got to a point that he
Mm,
was calling his own mom a bitch, and the mom would be like, don't fucking talk to me like that, blah blah blah, and then he'd fucking get an attitude, and then the dad would barely do anything. So it's like, bro, you're just letting this shit happen.
mm.
So it's like, what the fuck? This is wild. It's
Wow.
crazy, bro.
Wow. I have no. I no. I'm not even going to comment on that. No. Bloody hell. No.
I'm just picturing Sony just
We.
getting mad, like, I will fucking strike you. Like,
I don't know this guy, and I'm ready to hurt him.
yeah, tell me about it, right? It's fucking crazy, bro. It's crazy.
Wow.
But yeah, guys, we go to end the episode there. This was a pretty intense episode, so it's pretty wild.
Yeah.
But yes, guys, it's yeah, it's been a little crazy. We're not going to do a question section for today, guys, but I know we haven't been uploading on the Patreon. It's been like life's been a little crazy, it's been a little hectic in the past like month or whatever. So instead of doing the question section for today, Sony and I are going to look at our schedule, and we might be, because I think it's like next week. I don't think next week we'll be posting up an episode, just so you guys are aware, if I'm not mistaken by the dates. I don't think next week, but we will try to post up a Patreon episode next week, and we'll do a question section for the Patreon, which means we could answer a little bit more spicier questions. So we'll be putting.
Yes, we have a few of those.
Yes, we'll be answering some little spicier questions, a little more interesting questions then that we can't really discuss on YouTube. So as always, guys, if you guys want to support the Patreon, we always do appreciate it. The link is right down below in the description. But yeah, guys, as always, man, we appreciate y'all. We love y'all. Thank you guys for tuning in as always, and we'll see you guys soon. Y'all take care as always, guys.